The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, there's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost souls shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Topping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world's fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, there's the route down known. Dolly Vision headlines, King of Peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost souls shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What is up, YouTube? It is Dolly back in the house. And of course, I have the lovely PJ with me, and we're talking about Hurricane Helene aftermath. Oh my God, crazy ass storm, everything in North Carolina, Asheville, completely underwater. The death toll has reached 100 people, and still tons of people missing from this storm. You know, I originally heard this storm was hitting Florida. We seen JLR down there covering the storm, but I thought time it hit like, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina, that storm would die down some. But apparently the flooding has been horrific. And now you guys already know the routine. If you haven't yet, make sure you leave what?
Your DNA on the like button.
Your damn DNA on the like button, people, just in case a storm gets you, you get washed the hell away, and Dolly and PJ got to come track you down. We're going to need your DNA to match. Also, if you're brand new, make sure you sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications. So we're going to be going over a little bit of the live coverage from what is going on, you know, on North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, a little bit of Florida, with
Tennessee.
Tennessee,
I
right?
heard Hawkins County wasn't doing good.
Hawkins County, where Little Summer Wells is from. Let's add this to the screen. Let's jump into some of this live coverage. And trigger warning, some of the stuff you're going to see is absolute horrible. Let's turn this down just a little bit. We don't need all that noise. But like I said, the flooding, the storm surges are absolutely crazy.
Trish told you it's Helene and not Helen.
Did I say Helen?
We practiced this.
What is Helene?
Helene.
Helene. Okay, well, you know, I'm terrible with names. The damn storm that flooded everything out, people. So this is live coverage right now that's going on in different locations, and we figured we'd come up here and check it out with you. We are going to open the phone lines a little bit, so if you're in one of these areas, you want to call in, tell us your story or about some of the things you've seen going on, the flooding and the deaths. Now, there has been some horrific stories coming out from this, right? A lot of this stuff's on, what is it, Twitter or X, And, a complete family was on top of this building, 6 people. And you can see that the flooding is up to the roof of the buildings. A lot of these buildings are being swept away. So there was a family with 6 people on top of this building, and the whole family got swept. The whole building collapsed with them on the roof. The only one that survived was the mother, and that's because she got stuck between 2 pieces of debris. So some of the shots of the devastation, mostly from flooding, is unbelievable. Mother Nature is no joke, okay? And we're talking national disaster. We're talking it's going to probably take them a whole year
More
to
than
clean
that.
up some of
the
this stuff.
I've seen, it seems it's going to be, I can't imagine.
There's some cities that are completely gone. Like
Yeah.
it wiped them off the
I
map.
saw someone in chat say something about South Carolina. I didn't even realize it says in upstate South Carolina, this destruction is real. I didn't even realize they had it that bad in South Carolina.
Yeah, and parts of Virginia, it's because a lot of these dams and things have overflowed or broke, and all this water has poured into these towns. Pray for my American friends, for people that
Thank you,
lost
Claudia.
homes and can't pay for damaged things. You're not alone, right? Thank you, Claudia. Yes,
it's as bad as Katrina. Tiffany said.
Yes, I believe it's just as bad, if not worse.
When
It looks
Katrina
like
happened,
it covered a bigger span.
It did, because people are saying all these different locations. I didn't even realize it went as far as South Carolina, but there's certain places there's still no rescue, and people are still stranded asking for help to get rescued. And with Katrina, I feel like it was the direct area, and they were able to get, they almost basically had martial law there when all that happened.
Believe it or not, Florida, where it hit, they're actually sending their people to Tennessee to help rescue people,
because they were prepared for the hit. I feel like everybody else
wasn't. Yeah, they didn't think, everybody was worried about the winds and the storm. And Florida, they prepared themselves. They board up.
They're used to that.
Yeah,
almost.
and they build their buildings to withstand storms. Now you get into Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, especially Asheville. Asheville is completely underwater. Like there's so many missing people right now that they have no clue to where they're at, and they're probably not going to know until some of this water drains. People trapped in their homes, trapped in their vehicles.
Oak Ridge down to Asheville is all bad, somebody said, and that's where that dam broke, I believe.
Yeah, look right here, Asheville is gone, basically.
Or was it Rock Ridge? I'm terrible at names, but I was looking at all the areas the other day when it first started happening, and I saw a couple different places warn their residents to evacuate immediately, that the dam was going to break. And I'm thinking, why do they not do upkeep on dams?
Well, I mean, a lot of our infrastructure in this country is raggedy. Bridges, look, there's been bridges. I watched a bridge today on Twitter get completely washed out. I mean, in a matter of seconds, that bridge was gone. Like, boom, just scattered into
did you watch that bridge in Maryland collapse when that thing hit it?
Yeah, when the
Chimney Rock is gone completely.
Yes, there's a lot of places that are completely gone, and they're bringing in National Guards, everybody that they
one
can.
Place in the mountain, I don't know if it's the one that she just said, but it was like they were requesting private citizens with helicopters to come out. Do we not have government helicopters? I mean, why can't
there's been a lot of talk about why the president ain't down there,
right?
Why Kamala Harris ain't down there. Where's the relief for these people? I did hear today that Trump is down there, that he went and made, he flew in, visited Georgia, I think Tennessee, and he donated $25 million of his own money while he was down there.
North Carolina, where Dirty Dancing was filmed, is where the dam broke, I think.
Okay. So the water, I mean, I have never seen so much water pouring through cities like this. And this don't even look that bad, what they're showing right now. There's houses that are completely underwater. And like, I've been listening to stories from people that have uploaded their videos that have survived this. And some of the stories are horrific. They couldn't get their mama out the house, or, this happened so fast that they didn't have because sometimes the roads get wiped out and there's no way for them to escape. So, they're kind of trapped in their homes, and man.
I
And
just can't imagine this.
you know, the thing is, really, it ain't the water. When you go into the water, is the water has so much force that it's slamming you into houses, it's slamming you into trees, it's slamming you into brick walls. So if you go in that water, it ain't just as easy as swim out or let me go with the current,
Well, isn't
because
that why
there's
the
so much
dams broke?
debris
Because
in the
it's
water.
the pressure of the water that's pushing on the whatever's the closure. And so once it comes through, it just comes rushing in.
Yeah,
then
and
it
I mean,
just-
sometimes they'll release water to keep the dam from breaking.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's either flood it or let it completely get wiped out. So sometimes they'll open the dams to try to keep these dams from busting. And either way, everything's getting flooded. You know, there's no way. Once that water, Mother Nature is no joke. It is
Yeah.
no joke. And not only that, but they got more storms coming. Okay, before they can even get this cleaned up or this water can recede, they got more storms on the way. So I feel, you know, prayers for the people in North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. They're still rescuing people in Florida, but Florida don't seem
Are
to be
they?
as bad. Yeah, it don't seem to be
I
as
haven't
bad.
heard much from Florida since it happened. I know that one little area was devastated, but it's like they're almost used to it. They're okay.
What
they know
would
how
you
to do.
what do you think this damage, and if you had to put a price, it's in the billions.
It's in the trillions.
Billions of dollars, you know.
Think about all the areas that are affected. It's not just one little state or a part of a state. It's literally a bunch of states affected in certain areas.
19,000
See?
homes destroyed in Florida. You know, I watched a man say, he was crying on Twitter and he was saying, you know, I used to have a home. I used to have a happy life. Now I have nowhere to go back to.
Yeah,
And-
see, trillions.
Yeah, probably in the
Mermaid said
trillions.
trillions.
Like, you know, even Trump donating 25 million, that ain't even a drop in the
Yeah.
hat to what the devastation that, you know, has been going on. People completely lost their farms, their homes, their
They
businesses.
still don't have electricity or water and stuff because you need electricity to have water, don't you?
DA Val says we will rebuild.
Of course.
It's going to take some time, and I'm sure everybody in America is praying for you guys and backing y'all 100% in this. This is a time when the country comes together,
Yeah.
you know, and
But do you
all
say
hands
that?
on deck.
I've seen lately, actually, within the last couple of hours, people were venting about how they were told not to come help, that to stand out. But I get it now looking at this.
It's
because
dangerous.
It's dangerous. Like, you have to be an expert to come help doing that.
Yes.
Because that's like I mean, how are you going to help as a regular civilian?
If it was safe, I would be down there helping. But right now, it's too unsafe for the average person to go try to help. You would have to be a professional, you know, because you don't want to be the next one they're saving, you know. And this water is still dangerous. It's, you know, you got down power lines, you got roads collapsing, you got bridges that are out. So there's some places that ain't even passable.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, look, I can't.
And this has affected shipping, right?
crazy.
All over the country, because, you know, I ordered some parts for my truck because I'm supposed to go to Georgia. And the guy told me, he said, look, man, with all the storms and the, you know, the lower East Coast, you know, shipping may be delayed.
Sitting in the dark now. We had water, but no power throughout all the freezer food today. Wow.
Is Starlink available yet?
I believe so. but
Yeah, I
don't
believe
know.
for North Carolina,
Mhm.
he had put out free internet for people. So, but the bad thing is people are trapped without water.
Yeah.
You know, water
You
systems are
have to have
down,
water.
power's down.
I need to bring that live straw over here.
And nobody was prepared for this. And this, you know, this is one of those problems when you're in lower lying areas.
I mean, look, that's crazy.
You can see where roads have collapsed, buildings have collapsed, trees are down. So, and
that literally looks like the Tasmanian devil in that one cartoon just went ham.
yes.
Took out whole places like
Lowe's
that.
made it,
crazy.
right? Lowe's made it. So, yeah, especially some of these places that, you know, really haven't been flooded like that.
Cheesy said, seeing a life insurance ad from this live, how ironic.
A life insurance ad?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I can understand it, because you never know what can happen.
No,
know,
I
like-
mean,
Where we're at, we face hurricanes.
yeah.
We face tornadoes, flooding. But I haven't seen nothing like this.
Look, the Walgreens made it too.
Well, I remember Hurricane Gloria hit Virginia,
Mhm.
and It was bad. I mean, I was watching trees fly down the street, but it never looked like this. This looks like Russia and Ukraine dropped bombs. You know what I'm saying? It literally looks like somebody dropped bombs on this place, and buildings are completely collapsed underwater. And you know, here's the bad thing is a lot of this stuff you see, it may still be standing, but it's destroyed because
There's
it's flooded.
600 missing, Ellen said.
600 missing.
Eileen,
I know
sorry.
confirmed dead right now
Yeah.
is 100.
She said 100 dead, 600 missing.
Yeah, 600 missing, 100 confirmed dead in this. And this, like I said,
And that's all mud.
yeah, all mud. And you see all the cars and buildings destroyed. And you got to remember, even though some of it may not look destroyed, it flooded. So them cars and vehicles will never run again. The houses that are standing are pretty much destroyed. They're just destroyed on the inside.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so most of this stuff is flooded out. Most of this stuff that's still standing will have to be tore down. Right. So I haven't seen something this bad in a really, really long time. So if you guys that are out there and you're in these areas, I am glad 100% that you're safe and you're able to join us tonight. Matter of fact, if you're in these areas and you want to share your stories, we're going to open up the phone lines. Let me open the phone lines and let me put the call-in number on the screen for you guys. Well, there you go. The call-in number is on the screen, 757-797-6694. Tell us what you think about this devastation. If you're in the areas, tell us what you witnessed and what you witnessed. Dolly.
Hey, Dolly. It's me, Tiffany. Hey, PJ.
Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
I wanted to call. Yes, we went up yesterday to North Carolina to drop supplies off to our family that's in Hendersonville.
I heard Hendersonville's pretty flooded.
Well, Hendersonville wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It's bad, but okay, so when you're going up the interstate, 60 miles, Dolly, there is no power, there is no food, there is no gas. You automatically lose phone service.
Yeah.
You have got to use an old map to get, you have to print it out before you leave.
Hey, Granny.
Trees were down all the way up and down the interstate. So we were able to get to our family members and drop off gas and food and water. And then and propane to do the gas grills and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we cooked hot dogs and took them to the neighbors. And there's people my cousin, she works for Mission Hospital.
Yeah.
And they were running off of generators, and the National Guard was coming in when we were coming in, and they were trying to get people out of the hospitals because they were having to take that generator because they don't have any gas hardly. And they're doing it between neonatal and ICU.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to get them out. Now out Chimney Rock, it's gone, Dolly. If you can pull up Chimney Rock, it is completely gone. There's farmers that have lost their entire farm.
Yeah.
All their animals, their horses are dead.
Yep.
Oh, I can't. I hate that.
And then
I was watching that earlier.
And it breaks. I cried all the way home because they had dogs, Dolly, that are cattle dogs that were hurting the cattle up the creeks to try to save, because that's their job. They're dogs. They help their herds, taking cattle up the creek away from the flood. These dogs were swimming. It was so heartbreaking. I have not seen anything like this since Katrina.
Yeah.
And then I have a family that, now I was on the phone with the Red Cross this morning because we have friends that is outside of Asheville. And so this is what happened. The dam could not hold the water.
Yeah.
Some of these mountains got 4 foot of rain. And so the dam started to overflow. So they had to open up the floodgate to keep the dam from just completely breaking. if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
Yeah, because it would have been way
So-
worse. I know sometimes they got to let
So
it
the dam
flood. So
didn't even break
if
there?
they don't let the water out, it's going to break, and these towns are going to flood instantly.
Right.
You
I
know?
thought,
Right. And
I thought
then
this was
the
from the dam
mudslide.
actually flooding here.
Well, the overflow from all of that rain coming off the mountain and the mudslides. So I have a friend of mine, and she's touching base with me every 12 hours because they have one phone charger for the entire community. So I got her address, and I was on the phone with the Red Cross this morning. I'm like, they were down to one water bottle for 7 of them
Oh my
on Monday, on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
So I called the American Red Cross, and I'm like, this is her address. What can we do? We can't get to her. And they're like, Tiffany, the only way to these people is by air.
Yeah.
They're like, there's no way to them. So they're coming together, Dolly, in the community.
Yeah.
Why
it's-
can't we
horrible.
get
It's
helicopters? Like,
horrible.
we have government helicopters. Why can't we get to these people? I don't understand this.
well, they had private citizens using their helicopters to take out water and food to some people.
I mean, the government has
They're-
helicopters.
They're still rescuing people as we speak.
I just don't understand.
You know, they're still pulling people out the water today. So
It's so bad. It's like when you see this stuff and then you go up there, it's horrible. And like, they need help. Like, we're going to get more stuff up this weekend and take up there.
mhm.
Like, our family, thank God they're okay. I mean, they got in their bedroom on their knees and started praying because all they were hearing was trees breaking. And when we pulled into their neighborhood, we're seeing trees on houses, and her house was just sitting there and it wasn't even touched. And I'm like, God was with y'all. And I mean,
Yeah.
Dolly, this is worse than Katrina, and all these
I believe
people
so,
are sitting
too.
on rooftops. It's terrible. And there's people that need insulin. People can't even hook up their CPAP machine to breathe at night. People don't have their medication.
Yeah.
Dolly, it's
I
bad.
watched
I
the
don't think people
family.
realize.
I watched a family that was on a 2-story building, right? And they were 6 of them on the roof. The mother took a selfie of the water and the water rising, then the building collapsed. And it was the last picture she took of her family, and everybody died. All 5 of her family members, her husband, her kids, all her 4 kids. And she got trapped in between 2 logs, and miraculously she survived, but the rest of her family didn't. You know, and it's horror stories like that, one after another. And just think about all the people that they haven't been able to recover. That it's out like 100 dead, 600 missing. That's 700, at least 700 people that have probably lost their lives because of this storm in these few states.
Well, the last message I got from her, because I had to let her know from the Red Cross. And anybody that's listening to this, please, this is so important. If you have any family members in this area that does not have phone service, the Red Cross told me to let our people know that they need to go on their phone and make sure their roaming is available, that is on. Dolly, this is very important. I'm so glad you're covering this, because I was going to send PJ a message earlier. Because, okay, so attention, providers has enabled disaster roaming, regardless of what service a person has. If they are in an area with any functional network, they will be able to make calls and send text messages. Go to settings, then connections, under mobile network services, and make sure your roaming is enabled. Because whether they have service or not, they're going to be able to get in touch with who they need to get in touch with. Now, also, like, our family members don't have service. So what's irritating them, which I think is bullcrap, is they're getting like updates about their city and their county, but they're sending them a link to go online. How are they going to go online, Dolly? They ain't got no internet.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they're sending me the link, and I'm able to pull that link up at home, copy and paste, and send it over in a text message. Like, why are you sending them links?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think there's
And
very
then-
much internet going on with all the power lines and the cable lines wiped out, unless you have wireless internet, you know, and most people have wired internet. Like me, I have Cox cable. Once the power goes out, usually the internet goes out.
See, this is what
Like, come on,
where
where we're at technology-wise, Dolly. Come on now, you've got to send the text messages. I don't care how long they are. Send them for these people to see. But that Roman is important.
Yes.
And then we just need to pray. I mean, like literally, if anybody's wanting to go up there and bring supplies or try to go up that way, like Hendersonville is good, like to get in some of the roads. But I'm telling you, you make sure your gas tank is full and make sure you have gas on you, because you're not going to find gas. There's nowhere that has gas.
I've seen places that already in Georgia that have been price gouging $10 a gallon.
Isn't that illegal?
It is, but I mean, they're probably going to get in trouble after this is all said and done. But
people are sick.
Yeah, I mean, people are trying to profit off of tragedy, and I think the gas stations that are doing this, once all this, right now they can't take resources to go mess with these gas stations. But when this is all said and done, they need to go shut those places down.
Yeah, they do.
And then we're coming back home from North Carolina yesterday. Out here in Georgia, we're coming back home. My son calls me and he's like, "Don't go to the house." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" We have a fire that's 10 miles from us.
Oh, I seen that with the chemical plant. It's like
my God.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
we couldn't even come out.
Yeah, I heard about that too in Georgia with this thing. I seen the videos of the fire and it was massive, and the color of the smoke looked like it looked toxic. There was red smoke, blue smoke, purple smoke. I was like, I ain't never seen nothing burn like that.
Yeah, and listen to what we got today from that. Like, my husband, he's like, "Baby, don't go outside." And I'm like, "I got to go to work." So I go out. Instantly, my eyes are burning. I couldn't hardly breathe. I had a headache. I had an asthma attack. I hadn't had one in 3 years. And this is the emergency. Listen to this crap, Dolly. It says, Georgia Emergency Management Agency, Homeland Security, on behalf of the Environmental Protection Division, local area emergency due to Rockdale County biolab fire.
Yeah, chemical plant.
Chemical levels are unlikely to harm most people.
All people.
Categories.
All people. That stuff is probably super toxic. They know that's killing people. And if it ain't killing them instantly, down the line, you're going to grow a third eye or end up with cancer. They got to watch putting these places in people's communities.
That. Don't scare her.
I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, it's a scary situation.
I'm going to grow up. I'm going to wake up in the morning with an extra titty. But anyway, it does. But my thing is, that's irregardless. We're fine. But back on that. But everybody just needs to pray for that whole situation. But I don't know what's going on.
And people are asking, are there alligators in the water? Yes, there's alligators in the water. There's lots of things in the water. But I think that would be least of your problem when you in the rapids of the water, because you get slammed into a brick wall, you're done. You hit a tree, you're done. There's houses floating around in them rivers. There's cars floating around in them rivers. So it's the impact. It ain't so much going in the water. It's all the debris in the water that's hitting you at 100 miles an hour that is going to take your life.
It's horrible, and there's so many people, because that's what we do as turtles. We find missing people. There's so many people missing, Dolly.
Yeah.
So many people missing.
Yeah.
And
when the time is right and some of this water goes down, maybe me and PJ may have to take a little trip down there and see what we can do to help.
Well, I may have to be getting more supplies, because like our cousin and them, the school behind them was made a shelter in place. So I let them know. I'm like, look, if y'all need stuff there and the government doesn't get it there to y'all, we'll load up another trailer this coming up weekend and we'll take another haul up there, like waters, cleaning stuff, because that water has to be boiled. They can't drink it.
Yeah.
And then because it's contaminated. And then like formula. Dolly, this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah, all the things we take for granted, they need,
Oh, yes. And I mean, I literally, I came in, I woke up and made me a pot of coffee this morning, and I felt guilty.
I heard every hotel in the surrounding areas around these affected places are all sold out. You can't get a hotel room. So there's so many people that don't have places to go right this second. And then after this, everything's destroyed. So where do all these people go? You're going to have to start setting up camps for.
Deaths were up to 116 as of the national news time tonight.
Yeah,
said.
but look,
Well-
hey, we appreciate you calling in and sharing all your information with us, and especially about the Roman stuff. Hopefully, people hear this. I don't know, or can get the message out to their loved ones of what you said, because I'm sure a lot of these people right now don't have internet.
Well, I'm going to post that on our Facebook page if that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
go ahead.
post that on there.
Absolutely.
And just say a prayer, and we appreciate. Thank you for covering this. It's not out there enough. It's not out there enough.
Yeah,
they need help. Our
I
government needs to help our country.
I didn't
Our country,
realize how
our people.
I didn't realize how devastating it was, because I've been just other things and until today, and I seen some of them and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this. This is something like I've been through a lot of hurricanes and things like this, but I've never seen nothing like this.
Yeah, I think it's worse than Katrina. I do, Dolly. I do. I think it's worse than Katrina because it's so widespread.
Yeah.
Because we've never had a hurricane. I mean, you got to think. I know I got to go, but you got to think that hurricane hit the Gulf and it made it all the way up to North Carolina that quick.
That was like the bands of it.
Yeah, just the rain
Yeah.
drop. It was the rain. It wasn't so much the wind as it was the rains. But hey, I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Be
Dolly.
safe.
Y'all take care.
Bye, Tiffany.
Bye, PJ. All right, bye.
Dolly, PJ.
Hey, Dolly, how you doing? Hey, PJ.
I'm
Hey.
doing better than a lot of people out here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of devastation, a lot of
Sure.
people homeless, a lot of people gone, a lot of people
Well,
with nothing.
I mean, here's the thing is that thankfully I just got out today, this afternoon. It took forever. It was such a panic. I didn't know if I was going to make it.
What area was you in?
I was in an area, I was within the city of Asheville district, but I'm in an area called Candler, which is just outside of like Asheville. If you look at a map, you'll see Asheville with the loop around the top, and I'm just on the west side of the loop. And
Most
so
of
I was-
Asheville is gone. I was looking at
No, downtown Asheville is fine. It didn't get hit.
Okay.
So, there was a lot of power loss in downtown Asheville. Some of it stayed up. Downtown Asheville is kind of a priority because we have a massive level 2 trauma center hospital down there. And so the priority was to get that up and running, but they were still operating on generators for 2 days. They don't even have flushable water in the hospital right now.
Wow.
Wow.
They're estimating that,
How
like
are they
they're
not
saying,
prepared for that?
okay, that's really what I wanted to talk to y'all about and get the message out about this, because this has been a problem in the making for many years, and all of us locals have been complaining about it. Now, a lot of people out there think about Asheville as, oh, such a cool place to go visit. You got to understand what Asheville is. Asheville is a tourist market. So us locals that live there have been complaining for years that they're putting too much money to boost tourism and not enough into our infrastructure.
Yeah.
So this was, the situation, the storm and the flooding, all unavoidable. But the response, that could have been done better. Now, I heard a rumor. I'm not going to say it, like I haven't heard it factual because everything's being kind of word of mouth, but it sounds like, and I've seen the building myself. So what you got to understand about Asheville is you enter from either 4 directions. In each direction, you have to go through a gorge to get there. So if you think about a disaster and our roads get shut down, there's only 4 ways in and out, and those get shut down, we become an island, which is essentially what kind of happened, right?
Yeah.
And so they have to have the disaster management. And from what I heard, they built that in the floodplain. So all of the responses, like we need food, we need water, we need bottled water, we need ready to eat meals and everything. I heard all of that was in Asheville, but got flooded. So like, what does that help us?
Yeah. They're preparing for it, but put it in the wrong location.
Right. But and us locals know where the flooding locations is. However, we've never seen it expand this much.
Yeah.
And they're calling this a 500-year flood. I think it might be more than that. And so that's part of the problem. And so like we got landslides in 3 different directions entering and exiting Asheville. So, you know, if anybody locally is out there and they want to get out, and everybody's here in I-26 to South Carolina is the way to get out. I'm telling you right now, I got out and there was another way to go, and I faced no traffic. And that is to take I-40 west, even though they're telling you not to do it. Take I-40 west to Highway 74 towards Waynesville. Go through Waynesville. Now you're going to see, if you're looking for gas, realize there's going to be gas lines all the way up into Silva. But I got down to Franklin, North Carolina, which is a little over an hour outside of Asheville, and the gas lines were only 2 cars deep rather than waiting 8 hours in a long line.
Yeah.
So Franklin, North Carolina, they are good to go. And all through there, that section that I'm talking about, taking Highway 74 south towards Franklin, it's all open, no traffic. And Northeast Georgia didn't get touched at all. Absolutely nothing. And so that's another safe way out that's not really being talked about. And I don't know why, because it was an easy access for me to get out today. The massive problem is people do want to leave, but there's no gas.
Yeah.
And you're going to wait in gas lines. Now I'm hearing that drinking water is finally showing up. It started showing up kind of yesterday and it's showing up a little bit more today. I heard that there's going to be gas trucks coming in. The electricity at my apartment got turned on about 3 hours ago, and that's off of Smoky Park Highway. So that's Smoky Park Highway. It was flooded. It's opened up there. The street lights are up. Everything is working now. All the electricity is back. So I'm really glad. It was a combination of some good old boys with chainsaws and Duke Energy finally getting line workers in. So like the power is starting to come back on. But one of the major issues that Asheville has been having is their water infrastructure. This is not new. A few winters ago, we had a massive freeze, and there were some people that were out of water for 2 weeks with that. And so this is nothing new. I've heard that up in Woodfin, one of the water treatment facilities was actually underwater. I'm hearing that some of these water treatment facilities have to be completely rebuilt. And, you know, I'm here, like they're trying to say that, you know, the water might be gone for 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I think that in some places the water is going to be not existed for maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
And who knows? But if anybody is trying to bring in supplies, realize that drinking water is already showing up, and I'm guessing kind of ready to eat meals. Everybody's freezer that had food in it thawed out last night. So if it wasn't cooked, it's going rancid right now.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I left, and everybody in my apartment building left too. And I just don't feel safe staying in there all by myself. Where you cannot see anything in the pitch black at night. So that's kind of why I left.
Are you guys seeing any looting?
There is some looting going on. And when I say that, you got to realize it's not like people are like smashing Best Buy and stealing televisions. No, they're going to like the dollar store and trying to, because realize since Friday, you haven't been able to go to a store and get what you need. And people are starting to get hungry and thirsty because like you've been hearing, none of us expected this. None of us expected this. So, you know, now people are out and the other thing is the stores that are open, like there's a Haywood Road in West Asheville that didn't lose power. So they stayed open. They were getting looted too. And I talked to a woman there when I went to go in there, and I was like, "Oh, your shelves are empty. You must be making a lot of money." She said, "No, everybody's stealing everything because it's cash only. It's been cash only because the systems are down. We're talking no cell phone service, like the previous caller said. Our cell towers went out, and that was unexpected too. You know, like so the way this worked is a lot of people in Asheville didn't know." This was the hurricane was on us on Wednesday. Okay, this started on Wednesday, and it was just a lot of rain. And we get these like heavy rainstorms in the fall sometimes. We had gone through a drought, and it started on Wednesday. And by Thursday, I was watching another YouTuber that you've mentioned before. And he was down in Florida streaming live while the eye of the hurricane was coming up in Florida.
I had to say a little prayer for him. I was thinking, man, I hope this dude don't get killed. You know,
right?
Like, it's dangerous what he's doing. And I was just thinking, man, I hope, you know, when they start telling you to write your name on your arm in Sharpie, that's when I start to worry about other YouTubers. I'm like, man, I want you to get the story, but I don't want you to die.
Right. And so I'm watching him Thursday night and realized the floods had already started. And like when I started looking at the hurricane, and I realized that what we were experiencing starting Wednesday was actually the outer bands of the hurricane in Asheville. And it was pouring down on us Wednesday. Now we get flooding in Asheville, the rivers and the creeks, they flood. Biltmore Village floods. We all of us locals know that. Swananoa River Road floods. We know where the flood zones are, and it started flooding. And then Thursday night, you know, I'm watching him, and I'm trying to stay awake to see this eye. And 11 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I'm turning in. I'm going to bed. And at that point, the rain kind of stopped in the middle of the night. And then I hear my air conditioning unit turn off early in the morning Friday. I'm like, oh, it's here. It's here. And I get up and I look out the window, and dude, the wind scared the crap out of me. Like I'm wondering if that was 100-mile-an-hour wind. Like it was so bad. That's when I started getting scared. And there was no power by then. And then so I'm texting friends and family in the area going, fill up your bathtubs. I think it's going to get bad. And then as I'm texting, our cell phones go down. And that was Friday at 11 a.m. And no one knew what to do. No one knew how it was going to be. People hadn't been out to figure out what was going on. The only thing I did, and for anybody in the area, they get in your car, turn on the radio, get on AM, and scan. There's a few channels out there that are giving really, really good information. If you can't get enough, if you're in the area in Buncombe County or surrounding areas, scan the AM channels, because there are some AM channels there that are going to give you very helpful information on what's going on. That's the only way I found out before the cell phones came back. And they're not all back either.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's, yeah. And the other thing for anybody that is not in the area and you want this information, like this is how bad it's going to get, is that our Asheville is built on tourism. The biggest tourism time of the year is this week, starting this week. It's called the leaf season. So when everybody comes up to see the changing of the leaves, it's so pretty and everything. That is what fuels Asheville's entire economy. Now, that's done. That's not happening this year. Think about the River Arts District. All of those were businesses.
Yeah.
All those jobs lost. Asheville is a very expensive place to live. It's nearly impossible if you're middle class to find a place to live in Asheville, because it's so expensive. We have a massive housing crisis. We have a massive homeless population.
Well, it just got a lot bigger because these people are going to have to go somewhere, you know, because there ain't going to be nowhere for them to really go back to.
This change, everybody's saying, well, rebuild, but you got to understand, because of the way Asheville is, it's kind of like how Katrina affected New Orleans. They did rebuild. It took them a long time, but it was never the same after that.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to let you know too is that, you know, we experienced the flooding. The rain started on Wednesday. The flooding started, but the rivers in Asheville didn't even crest until Saturday at 7 p.m.
So a little delay, but you know, that flood, and once that water comes, it starts to come really fast.
Yes. Yeah. So, you know, like it is a very big devastation for Asheville. And I mean, they're saying they're going to rebuild, but I know a lot of locals are saying, I think it's time for me to leave.
Yeah, I think the death toll reached just as much as Katrina. They're saying right now, what, 114 people dead,
I saw
600 missing, but
116.
that will raise over the
Yeah.
next couple of days. Them numbers will go up.
Well, I do think that they're going. I don't know it's going to be as much as Katrina because most of the, in Asheville, most of the areas that flooded were like where businesses
Yeah.
were. But the devastation and the numbers are coming from the outside areas, more rural, like Lake Lure and Chimney Rock doesn't have as much dense population. But those are the areas. As Swannanoa was hit bad. I heard Brevard was hit bad. Marshall was like near all of downtown Marshall was, it's devastated.
Yeah.
So those are all the outside areas and Asheville is the denser population. So,
Okay.
the search and rescues are happening not in the city of Asheville, but the surrounding areas mostly.
Yeah. Well, look, we appreciate you calling and filling us in with all the information, and take care of yourself. And we're glad that you're okay.
Can I say one more thing to people that might be listening into the area?
Yes.
Because we're getting bottled water in, but one of the things that we don't have is water to flush our toilets and bathe with. And so there are a few things. You can tap into your hot water heater. And I want to give instructions on this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so on electric hot water heater, there is a faucet towards the bottom. And that hot water heater holds all that water. I think it's like 40, 60 gallons or whatever you can use to flush your toilet and, bathe with. So what you have to do first, you have to switch the breaker off for that hot water heater because you're going to empty that hot water heater. When the power comes back on, it is going to try to heat it up again and you're going to burn out your elements.
Yeah, because
so turn the breaker off.
Absolutely.
So turn the breaker off first, and then what you do is you go behind your washing machine, you turn the knob for your hot water heater off, unplug the hose, plug the hose into your hot water heater, and then get buckets or whatever, and you can turn the knob or whatever on your hot water heater and start filling up those buckets. If your power comes back on and you've got a dehumidifier, take the dehumidifier, plug it in, put it outside, run it. The humidity will fill up the bucket and you can flush your toilet with it.
Okay.
That's a good.
I didn't know that one. That's a new one. I knew about the hot water heater, draining the hot water heater.
Yeah, but those are a couple options. Be very, very careful. I wouldn't want to walk down to a river, but I know a few people have found small creeks to fill up buckets. Just if you're going to do that, be extremely careful. And if it's rushing real hard, just don't go near it. It's not safe.
All right. Well, thank you for all the advice, and hopefully people are listening that need that advice. You take care.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dolly, for doing this episode. It's really needed right now to get information out.
All right, you be good. Stay safe.
All right, thanks, Dolly.
All right, peace. I really didn't know the devastation. We went to the beach the other day. The weather here was beautiful.
Yeah.
But there are people were telling me that necessities like, toilet paper, milk, things are being wiped off the shelves here.
That's because people are taking was a longshoreman strike coming up. And people are worried they're not going to be able to get it here.
Yeah, and that a lot of these things they're buying up and stores are donating to the cause. So they're taking 18-wheelers of stuff out of these trucks and shelves are going empty. So I've seen local people posting on Facebook, I better get all this because people are going to start to hoard.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like they did before during the, the whole COVID thing, whereas you go get toilet paper and toilet paper's nowhere. And then when you get a package.
Yeah, Cricket Day say it's supposed to happen tomorrow. I think that's longshoreman strike.
And like, so all these stores are getting wiped out of, the basic necessities. But I didn't realize, because the storm hit, I seen JLR down there, and I seen it like when it was over, I go outside the next day. It's just a little cloudy here. But, this part of Virginia didn't really get hit that bad.
No.
So I didn't realize
expect it either to
the
be
devastation was that bad because
it's like the bands of it hit like while it was happening in Florida. It didn't really even look like it was catastrophic from what I saw in Florida, but the bands on the outwit of it was what Not
I mean,
everybody.
we
almost.
had a little tiny bit of flooding that's no different than when it rains hard here,
Yeah,
but
no, we got
nothing
nothing.
major. So when we was at the beach, it's all sunny. I'm not
Oh, yeah, their
thinking
contract ends at midnight tonight.
that
They're
the rest
striking.
of the East Coast down south is destroyed. I had no clue.
No, me neither.
So-
Not like this.
Yeah, not like this, exactly. So when I got on the internet and I started looking at stuff that was going on, I was like, what the hell is this? And then I realized this is all from that storm. And, you know, here it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather was absolutely beautiful.
And yep, there's definitely another one coming.
There's more storms coming, more flooding going to happen. And these people, they ain't even had a chance to regroup or really even find their loved ones that are missing. And then they're going to get hit by another storm. And, you know, this water, it ain't going anywhere quick. I mean, in some places it is, but some places are still flooded up to the roof.
Oh, I know.
So let's open the phone lines back up. And if you're in these areas and you can't
How
reach
do
your
you drain
family,
that?
you have to let it
Gotta
recede.
dry up.
It has to go somewhere.
That's crazy.
Dolly, PJ.
Dolly, what's up, Dolly? What's up, PJ? It's
What's
Matt.
up?
How you doing?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, man, total devastation. You know, I moved down here from New York. I'm about 20 minutes out of Charlotte, in northern South Carolina. About 20 minutes out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Where I am, in this particular location, it wasn't hit too bad where my apartment was. I didn't lose any power or anything, but my sister and I, we had a B&B, an Airbnb up in Sugar Mountain, Banner Elk area. And I was watching the cameras when the storm came and everything was good. You know, of course, we had the storm before, you know, in the beginning. And then all of a sudden I couldn't see it on the cameras anymore. So, and this is in the mountains. So you're thinking, you know, nobody prepared for this because you think you're in the mountains, you know, you're never going to have a flood, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up calling the property manager and like a day after the storm and no answer. I couldn't get any information about it. And I just found out yesterday that the entire house was taken out by a landslide.
Yeah, the people see them landslides are so
Yeah.
bad. You know, when you're up on the mountains, you on them slopes, you're thinking, okay, the rain's going to run down. But then when the mountains start to slide,
Right, because how do you flood in the mountain? You're up
it ain't,
high.
Yeah,
it ain't
that's
the
what-
worry
that's
of
what
flooding.
I was thinking.
It's the mudslides. The ground
Right.
soaks up so much water that it
Wow.
literally moves.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, that house is on foundation. Once it shifts
Yeah,
a little bit,
the condo is totally gone. It was
Wow.
it had another condo attached to it. It's like, from what I hear, it's like half there, half not. And I told the lady, I said, well, can I come look at it? And all of the roads are closed. You can't even get to it.
yeah.
So I'm sitting here. I just found that out, you know, and it's coming into the really busy season where we had this Airbnb. We had it because it's a ski resort. It's right by a ski resort. So we're coming into the busy season now, and you know, I don't know who to call. I don't know what to do. You know, sometimes it's tricky with insurance, with the flood damage. I don't know who to call. People saying that they have the FEMA to get, but right now I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, this good thing
I'm
you
just
wasn't
taking it
there
day by day.
and you're safe. You know, I guess that's the most important
Right.
thing.
That's the most important part. And nobody else was in it at the time, too.
Everything's replaceable. So when people tell you, like, when they say, hey, you need to get out or you need to go, you know, you got to take that serious because everything's replaceable. Your cars, your houses, all that stuff, but your life ain't. You know,
Right.
and a lot of these people didn't know to flee. They didn't know it was going to be like this. They didn't know these dams were going to break. They didn't know these dams were going to be released. And next thing you know, this water's coming in so fast and wiping out roads and bridges. Then it becomes a point you can't leave.
It's so sad. It's so devastated. Like I'm so upset about this whole thing. But like you said, you know, it's lucky there was nobody there. And lucky I wasn't there. You know, it's. What are you gonna do? You're gonna call the loss. You know, it is what it is. You know, I'm totally devastated about it. You know, this is my sister and I. We saved up to buy this together.
Yeah.
And go in this endeavor. My friend's about 35, 40 minutes away from here in South Carolina. He's completely flooded out. He has a mobile home no food, no water, no electricity. A lot of the area around me, about 20 minutes away, I happened to get really lucky. We didn't lose any power in my apartment building, but 10, 15 minutes away, they lost power, so I got really lucky in that sense where I didn't lose power here, but the condo's gone, and so many, I knew people, like, it was a small little town that the condo was in, and I went to the restaurants before. I knew the people at restaurants, and I'm thinking about them, that their restaurant is gone, and I feel so bad, and I knew these people, and
there really ain't no way for a lot of these people to cook either. Even if you had food that was cookable, well, how the hell are you going to cook it? Everything's wet. You ain't going to have no firewood. You can't even really start a fire because everything's drenched in water.
And the flood water was like 10 feet high, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, even in some places, I've seen 2-story buildings underwater. I was like, holy shit.
It's unbelievable, man.
Coffins floating down the street,
I
cars
believe
floating
that.
down
the
the street.
coffin floating down the street. I was done.
That's horrible.
Like that.
A lot of that stuff is on Twitter.
When we were going to buy this house, we thought, we won't get a beach house because the beach house floods. That's literally what we were saying to ourselves before we bought this. And a couple of years later, we have this, and now it's totally gone. You would have never thought that there'd be a flood in the mountains.
Yeah.
I would have never thought. But yeah, I just wanted to call in and let you know that, it's unfortunate, and prayers, to everybody. Prayers for that lady in Georgia, where she's dealing with that. Prayers to all callers. Prayers to everybody in here. Prayers to you guys. It's just it's a terrible thing, and I think it's worse than Katrina. I mean, I wasn't there for Katrina, but this seems like it's a lot more devastation.
Way more spread out.
The difference is that with Katrina, like I was saying earlier, with the martial law, it seems like they were structured in how to get relief there, at least after a little while.
It took them a while.
Like it did take them a while.
Yeah.
But with this,
and
it's
with
like
TJ, what you said about Florida, how everybody was prepared for it and nobody was prepared over here earlier in the show, you're so right about that.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Did they not realize the band of this storm was going to hit at the same time it was hitting at Florida? It's like almost everybody was so hyper-focused on Florida.
They decreased it and said it was a tropical storm once it hit land, and everybody was like, oh, it's just a tropical storm.
Yeah, but them tropical storms is sometimes worse than the actual hurricane.
Yeah. Did you guys get affected by it at all?
No, not a bit. I mean, we went to the beach.
Oh,
I mean, it was a beautiful day. We had what was it here in Virginia Beach? They had Neptune Fest, so everybody was at the beach all weekend and living their best life. You know what I'm saying? We were at the beach Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. I knew that I had been hearing that there was some pretty bad flooding going on, but I had no clue of the devastation.
I heard about a couple of the incidences, like the hospital staff and some of the patients, 60 people on the roof, and it was about a whole day before they could get a helicopter. I couldn't understand that.
That's incredible.
They were just hanging out on the roof for the whole entire day. I saw that.
Wow.
And then I saw another event. I can't remember right now, though, but it's like I saw 2 or 3 events where I was like, wow, where is this? And the dam that broke. But I mean, I can't imagine that it was like this.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It really is so sad. But yeah, I just want to come up on here and share my story, And
all right, Matt.
It's horrible hearing these terrible stories,
All right, Matt. You be
Hopefully
good.
We'll figure it out. I appreciate it, Dolly.
All right,
you.
peace. One of those things I've seen, a lot of this on Twitter today is, that the president, basically they asked Joe Biden, why ain't you down there? Why ain't you out there helping the people? And he said, I was on the phone a couple hours yesterday, and I was on the phone a couple hours today. I am a commander. But, like I said, why ain't they there? Why ain't there a bigger response? Like, I think when something like this happens, the whole military, your National Guard, your Coast Guard, everybody should be involved. They should get all the troops, right? And we send billions of dollars to other countries,
yeah,
right? But look what's going on with these people. We can barely get them water and food in time. And we're still, right now, they're still rescuing people, and they don't even have all hands on deck.
Right.
So they don't.
There's still people that are stranded at the top of mountains that can't get
out. Yeah, right.
That need medication and water and food.
I've seen some college students that were trapped too at a college, and they didn't have water. They didn't have power.
Imagine. Like I know that one of these government officials has a helicopter to go by and get these people.
Well, I mean, they can, take them helicopters that you fly your ass to Camp David with and fly your ass out there and rescue some people. Like, we should be seeing all kind of helicopters in the air, and you're not really seeing that. Like, they don't want people really right this second going to try to help rescue people because it is so dangerous, but I'm one of those people that think when something like this happens in our country, everybody needs to come together like Voltron and help everybody help,
band together and make it happen.
Like, because you got to remember, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people right now that are without homes.
Yeah.
Not only are they without food, without clothes, but they're without homes. And like, we help so many other people in this country. Like, let's just say all these people flooding into the country, we make sure they're taken care of. But when something goes wrong, it's like we don't take care of our own people.
No.
We've seen it in Katrina, right? Katrina was a major failure, and people were watching that stuff like, I couldn't believe it that our country was not so unprepared for just a storm. Imagine if it was something major, a major terror attack or something on our country.
I can't imagine.
Like, our country would crumble. We're just not.
Well, like the caller said earlier, their area specifically, she was talking about their area and how the infrastructure isn't.
But that's
solid.
Most of the country.
Everywhere.
Yeah, infrastructure, bridges, tunnels, everything is falling apart in this country. And we put money everywhere else, but we're not putting no money back into us.
Right.
And that's why we're seeing
us as a civilization.
That's why everything's crumbling and falling apart and needs to be rebuilt. Now let's listen to what real quick. This is a video of Trump. I guess he gave a speech while he was down there. It's only a minute long. We're going to listen to what Trump had to say real fast.
Hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked up. They asked me whether or not that would be possible. We're going to try and get the Starlink in there as soon as possible because they have no communication. And throughout the region, our hearts are with you, and we are going to be with you as long as you need it. It's called an hour of need. You're in our prayers, and we pray to God. And throughout the long weeks that lay ahead, you're going to have a lot of work, but the end result is it's going to be good. We just wish so many people weren't so badly hurt, and in many cases, sadly, no longer with us.
Wow.
We love you. Homes hot.
All right, let's go ahead and shrink that. But good point. I mean, he's right. There's a lot of people without communication, a lot of people without water. They're going to go without power for a good bit. I've seen the linemen out. So many linemen have been called in from all over the country to go help, and, different people driving gas trucks. And so they're building their forces. It just seems like it would be a little quicker. And I know it's never quick enough when you're in that type of danger or in that type of trouble. For us, it may seem quick, but we're not going through it. You know what I'm saying? When you're there and you're sitting there 8 hours, 9 hours with no water, and then finally some water shows up, and then time that gets dispersed between the thousands of people, you really, what do you got? 2 cups of water and you've waited days. You know what I'm saying? So
I can't imagine.
The supplies, we got to get that chain of supplies in faster. But the problem is is like, I've seen private civilians clearing out roads, right? Clearing the bridges, clearing roads, because at this point, if you don't do it, how is these supplies going to get in to help you? So like I said, it got to be all hands on deck. And I mean, just some of the devastation from this stuff is just unbelievable. Look at that. And that's what makes it so dangerous. So when you go into this flood water, you see all the trees and the broken down houses and boats and cars, and it's like some stuff like out of a Mad Max
you can't
movie.
go in that water. God knows what's in there. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and
That's water?
Yes, and there's so many people missing and possibly under a lot of this debris.
Oh,
So it is a really sad situation that's going on down here.
Wow.
And you think about this. We know there's 1,000 people missing. We know there's over 100 people dead. Think about all the pets, cats, dogs.
I don't want to think about the pets.
All the farm life, for their goats and cows and horses and ducks and you name it. It's just like even the birds couldn't even escape it. So it's terrible, and it looks like something from a war zone. And let's see what else we got here. Let's blow this up and just look at some of this. Absolutely insane. Some of the houses are completely underwater. Let's open them phone lines back up. Businesses destroyed. And you got to think about this. Like, yeah, when this water recedes, your car is still going to be there, but it ain't going to be able to run no more.
Yeah.
Right. So now your vehicles are destroyed, your houses are destroyed, your businesses are destroyed. And if people live paycheck to paycheck, right? How do you survive this?
I don't know.
Dolly, PJ.
Dolly.
Yes.
Hi, PJ.
Hi.
What up, Doug?
Hey, man, we got road washed out and everything.
Did you? Where are you at right now? Are you somewhere that's flooded, or I know you in Tennessee, right?
I'm in Tennessee. I'm in eastern Tennessee up on the mountain. We got road washed out. You can't get off the mountain.
You can't even get off the mountain, so the roads done got washed out.
Yeah, you have to go the back way off the mountain.
So you got supplies, everything you good, Doug, or do I need to jump on a helicopter, start draining to you?
I'm good, brother.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're safe.
We take care of each other up here. I feel sorry for all them people who got the flood water.
Yeah, it is bad. The more I see of it, because our weather here was great. Believe it or not, Virginia did get hit and a lot of Virginia flooded, but we're right on the coast of Virginia and we didn't get nothing but sunshine and a nice breeze.
I know. It was hot. It was way too hot and muggy.
Yeah, it felt like summertime and a nice breeze. So I didn't even realize people were going through so much tragedy because, I look out my door and it just looks like a nice day. And we were busy, so I didn't really get a chance to look at the news or anything. So when I finally seen this, I was like, holy shit.
All of it's flooding out. I'm just glad I was up on the hill.
Yeah. And thank God you didn't get hit with a mudslide or a tree fall on your stuff
we got trees everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't get off the mountain one way. You have to get up. You have to go the back way.
Yeah.
That takes you an extra hour to get out.
Extra hour to get out. So what about gas stations? They still running where you at? And
oh yeah, we got power.
Okay.
But when the road washed out, that don't do you no good.
Yeah, if you can't get there,
Well, you can't go off one way. You have to go off the back way, and then when you come back up, that's an extra hour ride.
Yeah.
And I thought some of them up there, man, their roads are washed out up there in Murphy, North Carolina and stuff.
Yeah, I've been to Murphy's, North Carolina. It's been a while since I've been to Asheville, and it looks like Asheville is completely gone.
It takes 10 years to fix that place back up.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to have so many people that are homeless and displaced. Where do all these people go? And is the government going to put them up and things like that, or are they going to abandon people kind of like they did in Katrina?
Yeah, just abandon them, that little pill on their own.
It's like at this point, defend for yourself. Go somewhere. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But I pray for all the people that's up there. And I'm glad you're I'm glad you're covering this.
And the bad thing is so many people are going to lose their stuff that are not able to rebuild. So if you're not able to rebuild, you're going to end up losing your land, losing your home, and having to go somewhere else. And
they're alive still.
And a lot of these people have been in these areas generation after generation after generation. You know, so it's sad to see that you know, a lot of times when bad stuff like this happens, corporations start coming in, buying up properties cheap and shit like that, and they push people out.
Well, and then next thing you know, it'll be build up townhouses up there.
Yeah, they'd be building condos and stuff. The same way, kind of same thing that happened in Hawaii with all them fires.
There's already conspiracies.
People came in, started trying to buy up the islands and things like that. And it's the same thing because, you know, people are going to want to sell cheap to get out from under this because they're stuck. And then it's going to be people taking advantage of these people that went through tragedy.
Yes, sir.
So
well, I'm just glad I'm up on the hill. I'm glad I made it all right. And I hope all these pray that if I could get there to help them, I would.
Yeah, well, right now I'm hearing they don't really want people trying to come there to help, which seems crazy, but it's understandable seeing the mass devastation.
How are you going to help in that? Do you have a boat?
You would have to have boats, but people with boats, you know, they really don't want them people because if you got a boat and you ain't trained in this,
right,
there's a lot of dangers.
Right.
And then you'll have to be rescued.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what they're trying to avoid.
And if the roads are washed out, how are you going to get to them?
Yeah, a lot of these places you won't be able to get to, or they'll be so jammed up. Like the first caller was saying, there's no gas station. So if you do go there, you're going to have bring your own fuel with you because you're not going to be able to stop at a gas station. And what's the average tank hold in your car? 20 gallons, 25 gallons. So
yeah, and then you have to haul that with you.
Yeah, and then you're going to run out of gas, and then you're going to be broke down, stuck out there, you know. So I understand it, but maybe when it goes down, you know, it should be all hands try to help clean this up, rebuild. I know a lot of people from around the country will be going there to work, just like any national disaster. Every construction dude in the country is going to be heading towards North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So,
and East Tennessee, Newport.
And Florida. Newport. You know, there's a lot of stuff right now that needs to be rebuilt. So if you're a contractor, you about to get paid, which is terrible, but it is what it is.
Rhonda said the same thing about the caskets and having to be buried 6 feet underground.
Yeah. All right, Doug, you be good.
Right. Good talking to you. See you.
Bye, Doug.
All right, peace.
Later.
Yeah, back in the day, you had to be 6 feet so you wouldn't wash up. But now what they do is they put you in a vault so they don't have to dig the hole as deep. Now, when that erodes or gets washed out and it's enough pressure to force the lid open on the vault, then that's when you'll start to see coffins floating down the damn river. Like,
how do they not prepare for something like this? So
because you don't think it's going to, like, you know, you heard the lady say it's a 500-year flood.
Yeah.
Means places flood, of course, but they don't flood where it's up to the roof of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That ain't typical flooding. That's extreme national disaster flooding. So there's no way to really prepare for that. And I don't care how damn deep you in the ground. When that water in that ground gets saturated, and you got to remember, coffins are airtight.
So they float.
So they float. They trap air inside. So it's basically like it's pushing up anyway.
Yeah.
Once the ground is saturated, once that vault fills with water, that coffin starts to push up. And I'm surprised especially with older graveyards where, like, you know, they say you bury them 6 foot deep or 6 to 8 foot deep. Even then they come up. I've literally seen in floods whole graveyards floating down the street. Not one coffin, whole graveyards. I mean, bodies from the graveyard and everything. Matter of fact, behind us is a slave graveyard. Them graves are buried maybe 3 foot deep.
Wow.
And no vaults.
Right.
Okay, this is before they put vaults and shit in the ground. They didn't dig 6 foot holes for everybody. Okay, you as a slave, they dug your ass 2 to 3 foot down in the ground, and you were lucky to get that.
Wow.
So that's why, and matter of fact, that's why I tell people not to go back there, is because the graves are collapsing.
Right.
Because you got to remember the coffin takes up space. And as you know, the wooden coffins, they rot away and the bodies deteriorate. that ground has a void. So when you step over that ground, it can collapse.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, and you end up falling into a grave.
Yeah.
Right. Not deep enough to kill you. I mean, maybe a small child,
Yeah.
but like you would fall up to your waist into a grave and be standing on somebody's body.
Oh my God.
So it
trigger warning.
And them are old graves. And that ain't just behind our house. There's old slave graveyards all through the South.
Yeah.
You know, so when they do this, they're going to find people that drowned in the water. They're going to find bodies that washed up from cemeteries in the water. There's going to be a lot of pretty gross,
this is horrific,
nasty things that's going to come out as this water recedes and people saw a picture of a casket out of the ground today. Yes, that has been trending on Twitter. We'll probably see that in a minute because we're on Twitter right now. So as we go through these videos, just be, warnings that you'll probably see some rescues. You'll probably see
trigger warning. Look how the road just ends and then it's all underwater.
Yes. And you see these things, you're thinking, okay, well, when that water goes away, these are going to be okay. No, these buildings are destroyed. Okay. At this point, they're destroyed. These buildings will have to be tore down. That's too much flooding. Everything in here will warp, bend. It's when you get wood wet, it's never the same. So most of these buildings, even though they're standing, by the end of this, and all these vehicles will be in the junkyard, right?
You sound like such a Debbie Downer.
I mean, it's just the facts.
I know,
right? Because they're flooded up past the tailpipes.
I would just be
so water's in the engines.
Yeah, I mean they're done.
They're done.
There's nothing you can do with that.
Yeah, these are all junk. These houses that you see here, they're destroyed. They will eventually be tore down. And I'm surprised that they're still standing.
They're gonna have to rebuild.
Definitely,
everything.
Definitely. Now, some of these metal buildings may be okay, but everything made of wood. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that gas station. The pumps are gone. It is completely past the doors. That water is raging.
Look at it's like rapids right there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine being in that. Or you standing on the roof of that thinking, how the hell am I going to get out of here? And there's no way to escape it.
But look how it looked like there was just regular grass.
Here's these people rescued today, I believe.
Wow. Trigger warning, everybody. Trigger warning. Jesus.
Hold that fire.
Wow.
So, I mean, like I said, a lot of this stuff is just horrific. And, some of the stories that are coming out. You can hear how strong the water sounds.
God.
Dolly, PJ.
Yes, I just want to try to let people know that I live in East Tennessee in the mountains. And there was no way that we expected a hurricane to have an effect on us.
Yeah.
And our water, all this water that has come down on us is out of the North Carolina mountains.
Yeah.
And it has gotten into the rivers. The rivers have overflowed and devastated our area.
Absolutely.
I'm so emotional right now because of all the stuff I'm seeing. Our bridges are gone. The bridges that are here are impassable. And I'm so emotional. I'm starting to get depressed because of the devastation.
It's hard not to be. Like, I was even surprised by it. It's like something I've never seen. And I've seen a lot during Katrina. I was like, I think this is worse.
That I just wanted to let you all know that there's no way we could have expected this to be like this because we are East Tennessee mountains and the hurricanes don't hit us.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we could have done or nothing we could do.
Yeah, Mother Nature is absolutely powerful. You can't sleep on Mother Nature, like the rains and I know people in the mountains, they understand the mudslides and things, but I know that there's no way to expect this type of devastation. So on a big scale too.
It's terrible. And all I ask is for prayers for all of us here, because our hands are tied until we can get our water back and our powers back. And so I'm just asking for prayers.
Definitely. We will definitely throw some prayers out there for you guys. You be safe. You take care of yourself. Hello? All right. Okay. So let's play this video real quick.
That's the one about the animals being penned up. I can't watch this. I'm going to go get Lolo.
Okay. And
trigger warning, everybody. This is horrific. This video is horrific.
Is this the one where the dude's trying to get his animals out?
It says, look, when the wedding venue tells you to wait, when the venue tells us to leave, their animals to die, but they're next to the river and the water won't stop rising and they're pinned.
Yeah. So, a lot of people, like, it's sad. I know a lot of people are upset just seeing it. Some people not even there, but just seeing this tragic stuff. It's pretty triggering, so trigger warning everybody.
I can't do it with animals.
Like if Lolo was in the water, I would lose it. You know what I'm saying?
See, everybody's turning it up. They can't watch this. This is like helpless animals they can't get out if they can't. It's horrific.
Okay, this is my daughter calling. Give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, trigger warning, guys. This is a deal with animals, and so. Well, these horses made it.
The donkey did it.
Okay. Well, don't get up.
It's gonna say it. I told you.
Okay. Well, we'll skip past this. We won't get all into this one because this may be a little too triggering for people. Okay. But I do know that the guy went out there. He started tearing down the fences, trying to get the animals out, and there was a few different. A lot of these farmers lost all their animals. I mean, it is sad. Same thing with people. There was people trapped in houses that couldn't get out. There was people trapped in businesses that couldn't get out.
People weren't tied up to the fences at their houses. It's different.
I know. Oh, it is. I told you guys.
I told you not to play it. The donkey dies.
Well, we didn't even see that part.
It just says it at the end. I just remember it because that's the one that I saw today.
Yeah. Well, we won't go into that. We'll skip past that one. Okay.
Asheville.
I grew up here. I lived here, 30 years basically. So on and off, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen devastation like this. It's been flooded before, but this is completely insane.
It started that Wednesday, pouring down rain. It rained Wednesday, Thursday, and she came Friday. So you can imagine all that rain, plus that wind. Everything she could move, she moved. That's some powerful water. That's some powerful water. We need more help. Yeah. Whoever can come in and help, come in. Because we need help.
I grew up here. I lived here, 30 years basically. So on and off, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen devastation like this. It's been flooded before, but this is completely insane.
It started that Wednesday, pouring down rain. It rained Wednesday, Thursday, and she came Friday.
I mean, it is hard to watch. Christy Ford says she loves you, PJ. It's also disturbing. You know, baby?
I'm okay. I just.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't, it is hard to watch, the whole animal things because, yeah, they are.
It's sad.
They are
People
trapped.
are dying. With animals, they can't, if you have them tied to stuff and fenced in, they can't get out. And I know they didn't know that it was going to flood overnight or however fast it happened. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of these people, a lot of these farmers risk their lives trying to save these animals too.
I'm sure I would have been out there swimming and holding my breath and untying animals.
Yeah, and you got to remember that when the cleanup comes, that there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of that, and people have to see that horrific stuff, and it's going to take some brave people to get out there. And
why is it taking them so long?
I mean, because of the roads.
These people haven't had electricity since Friday. It's Monday.
Yeah. I mean, well, they're going to go a long time without
power. And then that poor
power.
lady was in the mountains and they have no way to get out. Like, why can't they helicopter them somewhere?
I remember it was Hurricane Gloria or something hit here. Power was out for 18 days. No water, no power.
My God.
And I lived right next to the shipyard at the time. And so the shipyard grid had to operate. I don't know. The shipyard don't stop. So everybody around me for like 25 miles didn't have power. And my house was right on the shipyard grid because I lived right next to the shipyard. And I had power, cable, everything. But the rest of all of Chesapeake.
You've always been lucky.
Yeah, that was luck. That was pure T luck. My fridge, my food didn't go bad. But everybody else was without power. All the gas stations were shut down. You couldn't get gas anywhere. But the destruction was nowhere near what this is. Nowhere near. The worst of it was the power and the water being out for 18 days. But there was some destruction, but it was nothing like what we're seeing here. Sarcasm. I love all of you and the animals. Also, any animals who need a home, I'm here. Love you, PJ and Dolly. Gloria was 1985.
I was 3.
Yeah, I remember it clear as day. I remember watching trees and shit fly. It wasn't Gloria. It wasn't Gloria, the one I'm talking about where the power was out for 18 days. It was Earl. Was it Earl? It was something like that. Isabel. Yeah, it was Isabel. I get them storms
I was working
confused.
At Golden Corral, and it was one of the only places that was open.
I remember Gloria too. I remember that I lived in these brick apartments during Gloria, so I was probably 11.
Yeah, I have bug out bags too. I
was probably 10 or 11 years old, and I was looking out the window, and I was watching trees blow out the ground.
So if I pulled my life straw out of my bug out bag, would I drink water out of that?
I don't know. I wouldn't trust it.
I'm gonna have to bring it over.
Dolly, PJ.
Hold on just a minute.
Turn us down in the background.
I had to hit remote or find the remote. I wanted to say this is Rhonda from Michigan.
Hey, Rhonda.
And thank you for airing this. My sister is in Weberville, which is the last exit from Asheville.
Wow.
So where she's at, she can't get out from her town. They are hooking up the Starlink at the Lowe's in Weberville.
Yeah.
So people will start having some kind of power to their phones if they can power them up.
Right. At this point, aren't they dead, though?
People's phones are dying. They don't have no way to even power them up.
What is that feedback?
If they can power them from their car.
Yeah. But if they're underwater, how do they?
The Lowe's store in Weberville, if people can get to it, is open to help people out.
Yeah.
I have family members that are working at that Lowe's.
Awesome.
Thank God it wasn't the one in Asheville.
Yeah. Asheville looks like it's completely gone just about.
Yeah, we go there every year, a couple times a year, because, like I said, my sister's in Weaverville, and they lost the power. They did get rain, but they're not flooded.
Yeah.
They're high enough elevated that it didn't get them, thank God. But they're stuck. They can't come here. You know, most of the stores are cash only.
And there's a lot of trees blocking roads. So I know a lot of
Right.
people have been out cutting down trees as many as they can, but there's so many trees in the road is blocking people in.
Yep. That's why I said if they can get to Lowe's, they can get cell service as far as to make calls or texts. And Lowe's is open. I don't know of anywhere else it's open or has power. We just briefly spoke with my sister, so I wanted to call and make that known.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us that information.
Okay, thank you for that information. I'm sure somebody out there can use it. If not, everybody pass it on to their friends and family that you can get a hold in the South.
Yep. Thank you for having this show tonight.
Not a problem. You be good. You stay safe. We're glad you're here with us.
Yep. Thank you. Love you both.
All right. Peace.
Night.
We got a little bit of feedback going on there. Please love each other every day. That's why it's important, because listen, you hear all these people say, we had no clue this storm was going to hit like this. They didn't know there was going to be this type of devastation. They didn't know that they were going to be losing lives and have 1,000 people missing. 1,000 people missing.
It's just unreal. It feels like a bad dream or something, and I'm not even there.
I mean, it just shows you
imagine
how powerful Mother Nature is, and not just flooding, but hurricanes, tornadoes. These, don't sleep on a tropical storm, because, like I said, some of the worst flooding I've ever seen here was during a tropical storm and not a hurricane.
Yeah. I mean, but where's the help for these people? Like, it's like a ghost town.
Even here where we're at, there's laws for hurricanes, how you build homes, how these businesses are built, how these hotels are built on the ocean front. There's certain rules. They got to be able to stand so much wind, so much storm surge, so much stuff. So we're prepared for types of things like this. But when you get more inland, they don't think about hurricanes are going to pound them and flood out their dams, and the dams are going to have to be open, and then the towns are going to get flooded. People are just not expecting that. They're not used to that, to where, of course, we get hit with hurricanes all the time. So we're a little more prepared for bad weather, tornadoes, flooding. We're pretty, only thing we're not prepared for here is snowing. They don't, unprepared as hell for snowing. SKH has been a member for a year. Sarcasm just gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much, Sarcasm.
If you got a membership, make sure you thank Sarcasm.
It threw cars around, boats around, houses around, like they were absolutely
Someone
nothing.
said the storm chasers are posting some resources and links on who to call on X, and I saw something else I wanted to read that I lost that quickly.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this water.
Wow.
Look at how fast that water is moving. That's somebody in their house. Look.
We're gonna go up in the attic if we have to, guys.
They're going up in the attic.
We came quick. Love y'all.
And you got to remember, if that flooded it up to the attic, how did they get out the attic? They can't. There's no exit in the attic.
Unless they have a window.
Right? Unless they have a window in the attic. But, people like this may have lost.
But see how quickly that just came rushing in?
They may have lost their lives.
Crazy.
We don't know if some of these people are the last videos that we're going to see from them, because how do I go back?
Except the corner left. You made it. Yeah, there. Other side.
Oh, okay. I mean, you see that? They were still in the house. Look at these houses to the roof.
Wow.
Absolutely to the roof of the houses. Right?
Is this places that are just like low ground area? Well,
low
no,
line,
some of them are mountains, though, I thought.
These are the hollers. These are in between the mountains. This is the low line area in the mountains. Right? They probably have mountains to the right of them. And they probably got mountains to the left of them. So when that stuff floods, it all comes down to the middle. And you know, when people are building, they build at the low points. They don't build usually on the slants, right? Because it's so hard to build a slanted house.
Yeah.
So they usually go down to where the ground is pretty level, and that's the low lying areas, and they start building their homes, you know, back in the day. And now, you know, I'm sure they're used to some flooding because of the mountains, you know.
Like a bowl. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like a big bowl.
That's literally where the water would go to.
They're in the bowl.
Ryan and his crew have addresses where service is at on X many Starlinks being set up. Let me see if I can pull that so I can share some of that.
This is Tampa General Hospital used the aqua fence during hurricane, a barrier designed to stop storm surge up to 15 feet. The hospital said it worked efficiently.
Wow.
So it could stop storm surges up to 15 feet. They put a barrier up around the hospital. Wow. Okay, well, that's good technology. This is, I guess, Biden speaking on it. We seen that, the Trump stuff. This is, let's see. I don't want to show nothing too horrific. Look at this. You see that? That's how fast.
Oh my God.
You see how fast the water's moving?
Yes.
So it ain't like this is something they started raining and people were like, oh, well, y'all get out. They didn't have a chance to get out. Okay. They didn't have a chance to flee. They didn't have a chance to run. Before they knew it, they were damn surrounded by water. Look how powerful it is. See this thing right here? Watch this.
It looks like mud.
And it's taking out houses. Imagine that hitting you, like that metal thing that was in the water. Imagine you're standing there and that metal thing flies into you. You know, that's what you got to get. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
So it's the water's powerful. You know, even if you're the best swimmer in the world, you're not swimming out of that.
But that's mud. It looks
Mud
like mud
and water, and you know, and it's powerful and it's moving at hundreds of miles an hour.
Wow.
I'm okay.
My car's gone.
I'm okay. It's okay.
The everything's gone. It's all gone.
It's a mudslide.
There you are in the video. I'm like, it's okay. We're still alive. And you're like, it's all gone. Oh my God.
Can you imagine standing there recording that?
No.
I'd have ran.
No.
I'd have been like, oh no, not me, Satan. Not me. I'd have got the hell up out of Dodge. So
southeast of Asheville. This has been a life-threatening situation unfolding there through the day. The National Weather Service said earlier that dam is at risk of breaching, and this is along the Broad River at the base of Sugarloaf Mountain, southeast of Asheville and Rutherford County, where you know they've had so much rain and mudslides and landslides as well. There are 3,000 people who live downstream from the Lake Lure Dam, and they have been told to evacuate, get to higher ground right away. You can see that immense amount of water rushing through the dam as they continue.
yeah, if they don't open these dams, they're going to break, and then all that water at one time is going to flood.
Well,
down
that's
there.
the one they said was at imminent danger for failure, which means that it's not going to hold, even if you open it, right?
Well, I mean, you know, this is where we go into, you know, we need to spend more money on infrastructure, and a lot of our stuff is neglected because we're too busy sending money to other countries and, you know, housing people that probably shouldn't be here when we should be
when's the last
building up
time
our country.
we saw our state fix one of the infrastructure? Like, I can't even remember. They're rebuilding that one bridge
Because they sell them to other states that can afford to fix them. That's why they told them. Like when we get told here, that's sent to New Jersey because New Jersey loaned us the money to fix the bridge because we didn't have the money to fix the bridge. That's why they get to toll it. That's why you pay these tolls, is because other states are covering where we don't have the money to fix the bridge. They fix the bridge and then they own it for 20 years.
Yeah,
so they
that's
can
what
toll
Heather
it.
and said they put band-aids on shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they band-aid it, or other states fix it and build a new one, and then they
And
charge
Tiffany
you
said
to
it
cross
flooded
it.
over the dam.
Flooded over the dam.
Releasing water, hoping that relieves pressure on the dam and it does not breach.
Someone in chat said, what bridge are they rebuilding? What's that bridge called? I'm bad at names.
The Hampton Roads Bridge.
Water levels, though, have reached more than 15
Hampton
feet
Roads Bridge
above ground in some areas.
And Ryan Hall, y'all, the Weather Channel guy that everybody
Uh-huh.
watches, has a couple of different things they're talking about on X. I might just post his X link because there's a lot of, for people that actually need the help or the advice or info that's up here. I think there's a lot of information. Look at that drone.
It's a big one.
It looks like the size of a baby dinosaur. It's 400 pounds. Starlink panels in West Virginia, putting them on a plane in North Carolina tomorrow. Fatality 103. That was yesterday. Wow.
Just everything's destroyed. Houses gone. I mean, it literally looks like a bomb was dropped.
Wow. It really does.
Looked like the house with the red roof made it.
Yeah, where are they going to put all that trash? Good question. This is.
I mean, this
Asheville?
cleanup's going to take years.
I mean, what are you going to just bulldoze all that trash to the center somewhere?
Yeah, that's what they'll do. Yeah.
Oh
Possibly start loading it and burning it.
And Hatter's Madness said, I got a news headline about an hour ago, said death toll is 121 people.
121.
And there's still 1,000 missing.
And 1,000 missing. Yeah, that is.
Tiffany said, please don't forget my emails. And I never got one, so you must have sent it to him. You got to open your email. I think she had some. That was our first caller tonight. I think she might have some information or something we need to see.
Are you sure that wasn't my kid, Tiffany? Because she said she was going to send you.
Because I can see.
That's a different Tiffany.
Yeah.
Okay. So this person's Tifu's house was flooded during the hurricane. All right. Look at this one.
Wow.
Oh, it's going to hit the truck. It's going to hit the truck. Look.
There's literally.
It's so little on there.
There's literally an 18-wheeler floating down the street. That's how powerful it is. And you can imagine with a little car. Right, and look at the U-Haul. It's covered to the windshield.
Well, actually, it came up a little bit. The truck came up a little bit. Is that a guy down there? Yeah, I think there's somebody. There's them here. I think there's somebody in that truck. We can't get our 911 to work. Oh my God, dude.
So they think there's somebody in that U-Haul right there.
Wow.
Right. So imagine being in that. What do? You can't get out. If you get out, you're going to get swept away. Right. I think you would have better chances outside that vehicle, though, than you would inside that vehicle.
How do you figure?
Because if the windshield busts and the truck floods, you're going to sit there and drown because all that water's going to pour over the windshield. If you get out, you got a chance of it sweeping you out and you grabbing a limb or grabbing onto something. Either way,
you can get flung into something and
you
get
could,
hurt.
but if you stuck in that truck, it's even worse. So
you pray and pray hard.
Pray hard. That's what you do.
Storm brewing up at the end of this week.
Yeah, there's more storms coming, and this water hasn't receded. There's people still being rescued. 3 days later.
Wow.
Oh goodness! We dumped everything out.
He is in the truck.
I see that.
You see the windshield wipers still moving.
Somebody in that.
I don't know if there's anybody in the 18-wheeler,
something moving there.
But there's definitely somebody in this U-Haul. I was at, what does that say, PJ?
I was at Princeton celebrating family weekend and nephew's 18th birthday, thinking the weather sucked in New Jersey, not realizing what was happening. I was just at loving my nephew turning 18 and being proud. This is devastation. Is awful. Yeah, we were on the beach looking at sandcastles.
Yeah, we were at the beach looking at sandcastles.
I mean,
it just shows you that, like, we were kind of, I don't know about PJ. She may have knew what was going on, but I was pretty clueless to it. And, you know, that these people were in such danger and all this was going on. And it's horrific. I mean, it's total devastation. Some of these cities are completely gone.
I mean,
and time it dries up, and what they got to tear down, they will be completely gone.
Well, how come when there's like a tsunami in Haiti or like some event going on across the ocean where I feel like there's more being done than this? Like, there's no.
Because even a tsunami only goes so far inland before it stops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This hit in places in the mountains where they're usually not flooding like this. So they were really unprepared for the type of water and how fast, you know, these dams filled and how they had to release them.
That person, G of Twins, look up Hidden River event in North Carolina. The kids are animals and left them to drown. A wedding party saved almost all of them except for the donkey. That was that story we watched.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, like, you know, when you're in a situation like, well, you got to leave now and you got your horses and things like that, like, you have to choose. You have to make a choice. What's more important, your life?
I mean,
because you could go try to save them animals and you die.
I would at least let the cage door open or something.
They didn't know. These people, they didn't know that this was going to hit so fast. So before they knew it, boom, they're getting flooded. And it's either get to, you know, because roads are getting washed out.
Starlink's, he's okay.
If you don't get out of there, you may be dying.
Thank you, Heather, whatever. I get it.
Thank you for caring.
I hate.
Yeah. It's hard to watch.
I mean, I couldn't live if I had animals and just
like what we're
every
watching
day
right
outside,
now,
locked up, and just something was to happen to devastation. I would never be able to
like we're watching right now. Most likely, this person in the truck is not with us anymore.
I believe in miracles.
You know, I hope so. I hope they got out. But look at the situation they're in. There's 18 wheelers floating down the street. They're in the middle of it with their windshield wipers on. Most likely, these people, if they didn't get out of the truck.
What made them? See, I saw how fast the water came in. So clearly it just happened and then bam, that's where you're at, I guess. But how do you prepare for something like that?
You don't. This is why there's 1,000 people missing, and that's why there's 100 and some dead already. And when this is all said and done, that number is going to be double that.
That's terrible. Look.
It's rising too. And that was the end of the video.
Yeah, that was the end. So we'll
never know.
We won't know.
I'll just believe he made it.
Yeah, let's hope for the best.
He made it.
Yeah, let's just say go with he made it, right? But
there's another video.
Look, there's barns floating down the roofs of houses, cars.
Why is it the area right next to it's not flooded? I just don't understand.
Because that's probably the lower lying area of these two areas, so it's pushing it.
See, I told you, Sharon Marlowe, he made it. I saw it. I told you.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad. You know,
is that a basketball court? Oh Lord,
that's a house floating down the river for sure.
Oh my God.
There's the barn, a truck.
I see what you mean on the bowl and the holler thing, because look, the mountain is right next to it.
It's the low-lying areas where the water is going to flood too. It's going to go to the lowest point.
I mean, that makes sense. So how can they not prepare for something like this, though? It just happened so fast?
So fast. Absolutely
but
fast.
I mean, Florida was prepping for it to be a category 5.
While crossing the river.
I mean,
I wouldn't be texting while crossing the river.
Sorry, okay, so.
I mean, you see, that's just a little creek, right? But look how fast that little creek is moving.
And the old one has no water in it, and the only way to get across is.
This little piece of land right here.
Yeah, you guys don't donate to just anybody. I believe the Red Cross is set up, and that's probably the only
Right here,
organization I know of.
dug out. Yeah. So the water can go back in where it's supposed to go.
Where is it supposed to go?
Here.
Here.
So it's like that has to be completely dug out by a backhoe that we don't have. And so the water can be redirected back where it's supposed to go. Then we can try to put rocks and
The
stuff over there.
little paragraph for this video says, my family lives in Ashe County, an area that has significant flooding. This is my sister's house that is completely, I was trying to read it so they got the context of what they were talking about. Sister's house that is completely cut off from the road due to the flooded creek. No access currently exists for them to get their car across safely. Bridges are out.
Yeah, so they're stuck. They're
Yeah.
pretty much just stuck. That's what I'm saying. Once the roads get washed out, you can't leave. So even if they wanted to leave, it's like, oh, well, shit, it's getting bad. Let me get the hell out of here. They can't. I mean, it's just, yeah, everything's getting washed out. And look at traffic. Trying to get out of there.
That
Look.
second caller said she left and there was no traffic. I wonder, well, she gave
This is the line for gas. Wow.
Oh, that's the line for gas.
I'm videoing it.
That's the line for gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, I'm sure YouTube will set it up to where you can donate, and you know, we'll do a stream where the super chats go to the Red Cross. It'll help down there.
Oh Lord, somebody already said freaking look up how much the CEO of the Red Cross makes every year. Yeah, I don't know. I already know.
Well, I'm sure there's a charity that can be helped. Maybe since you love animals so much, maybe we could do something for one of the charities that help animals down there in that area.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, there's a lot of people that lost their farms.
Everybody's saying Samaritan's Purse. I've never heard
So
of
we'll
that.
find something that, you know, connects our
Something.
super chats to the charity. So when people give here, it'll go straight to the charity. And we'll let you know when we're going to do that. Okay.
This
So-
doesn't look like it's getting fixed anytime soon.
Yeah, this is going to be a while. They're going to be rebuilding this for the next year. They're going to be out there rescuing people for days. And then, you know, the recovery mission for the bodies and the animals and the cleanup and the construction. We're talking something that's not going to be quick. This is going to be something that's going to be over the next year going on. And they're going to be recovering people for the next month. You know, like I said, there's 1,000 people missing. Some of these people are in the water. They're going to have to wait to just, it's safe
God
to
needs
retrieve
to come
some of
down
these
with a little
bodies.
dry back and suck up all the water, like,
Yeah.
and then, but then I'm afraid to see what's under that now.
Get up to the stoplight. Holy cow.
Look how long that gas line is.
Wow. Makes me want to go fill my
You'll
truck
run
up.
out of gas waiting to get gas.
And then the line the other way is curved around the. Whoa, look at that. And there's 3 lines going in. There's line from the other side, and then this line.
Wow.
Holy cow.
It ain't that far that way. I'd do a U and go that way.
Oh, the Samaritan's Purse is the Billy Graham one. I saw, wasn't that one of the Graham people next to Trump?
Huh?
The person standing next to Donald Trump, I thought was not Billy Graham or it was one of the Graham men.
Oh, okay.
It looked like it, but I guess he's funded or works with the Samaritan Purse. All these people keep saying is a charity organization that's on the scene already. Navy SEALs should do water searches. What is that?
I don't know. I'm really hoping for some community's kindness here. Who was one of the people behind the scenes responsible for jam art stuff? Was in the path of Hurricane Helene and lost his family's home.
The house caught on fire from the storm?
I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of what it sounds like. Samaritan's Purse. Franklin Graham. Yep, that was Franklin Graham. I knew he looked. They have distinct features in their face. You could tell that that's one of the Grahams.
It says my son is out joining the volunteers. This is extremely dangerous. They keep encountering.
It says this is the extreme damage they keep encountering. This is why the area is difficult to get help.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boone, North Carolina.
Wu-Tang
yes, there were
County.
a couple of house fires. Yeah.
So Boone. Okay.
Asheville. More than 120 death toll rising.
Help us. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do.
Among the hardest hit tonight remains largely cut off from relief, frustrating residents.
Nobody's going to help us. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do.
Do you have any faith in the federal response here?
No. No.
Ricky and Devonna Brown's auto shop has been in this location for 30 years.
This is devastating. I mean, this is hard to see. I mean, this is hard to come and look at. You know what I mean? This is your whole life right here. And it's this old building to somebody. But to us, this is our life.
Asheville, among the hardest hit tonight, remains largely cut off from relief, frustrating residents.
Nobody's going to help us.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure somebody's going to help, but in their world, it probably seems like it's so far away.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't.
He was broadcasting from a tent on the beach
During the hurricane, yeah.
Wow.
I can't. I'm sorry. That's just.
It's just so much flood. And let's check out this one. And you can completely see it's washed the road completely. Let me blow it up.
There's the street.
It's washed the
And
road
then it's,
completely out.
Gone.
Would you try to cross that road? Definitely not. Where
No.
would you go to? You see it's washed. That water is so powerful. And you
No,
look at
where
it.
to go? Where do you, how does, I can't, I don't, wow.
Morgan Wallace is donating $500,000 to Tennessee.
Morgan Wallen.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't have my glasses on.
That's why I was trying to help.
Okay.
I'm not being a smart ass. I was just trying to help.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Pinkie Pie said to search X for Damascus, Virginia. It's bad, even in Virginia.
Okay.
If you go in the search bar.
Okay.
And even if you refresh it, because I think we're watching now a couple of videos that we've seen a couple times. Sometimes when you refresh it, it gives you more.
More. How do I refresh it up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we got all the Trump stuff, and then
No, we didn't have this.
that's Chimney Rock, where they're saying it's gone completely.
Yeah, it does look like that. Look at the roads and everything washed out. The upper hill stayed.
What? Look, you can clearly see there's a road, and then it's just gone.
Gone. Yeah.
How does that even happen?
Devastation. Asheville right here. Look.
Yeah, I've never seen devastation like this. It's been flooded before, but this is completely insane.
It started that winter pouring down.
Yeah, we seen this.
Yeah, we've seen that one.
Okay, so type in
Damascus.
Here, you know how to work all this. I don't never get on Twitter.
Hold on, just
Do I
put me
go
in
to-
for where the Helena,
Where?
or in the search.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know Twitter too good. Oh, yeah. Virginia got hit pretty hard, too.
Wow.
I don't know exactly where Damascus is. Is that northern Virginia?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up.
It has to be towards Tennessee, towards where Hawkinsville, you know, right near
Mhm.
Roanoke and what is
Yeah.
it? What else is out there? Roanoke, Danville
Look
area.
up the Rainbow Bridge at the Flowering Bridge in Chimney Rock.
All right, let's see. These
That's
are all
Damascus,
pictures.
yeah.
More just pictures.
Wow.
Look at that. That's completely underwater.
Wow. Is that from a dam breaking? How did that even? How? Oh my God. I know someone in the detective unit in Georgia for the fire blowing a chemical for a reputable donation spot from the fire.
Yeah, that fire was crazy. I watched that earlier today on
next to Abingdon, Virginia.
Okay. Let's get this over here.
Wow. Rainbow Bridge. They're saying Rainbow Bridge. I'm guessing it's gone by the looks of it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Take a wild guess. Wow.
The roads. Look at the roads collapsing.
Oh, it's near Bristol.
Bristol. Okay. Let's see what he says. I am a living VP. Come to the south. Asheville, Chimney Rock.
It's all about political stuff. Why? Like, dude, just...
Yeah, leave all the politics out of it right now. Right now, it's everybody's family, and we should be helping each other as much as we can. You know, who cares what political party you're on? We got brothers and sisters in need. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, if you don't even like politics. This is a time where the country needs to come together and stand as one. You know, it don't matter what state you're from or, you know, what you're into. Right here's a bear.
Huh. It's an old... Now it's just showing you stuff from the area.
So what do they want to see? The bridge? You want to
the
take
Rainbow Bridge. Oh, the Rainbow Bridge is where you could hang your deceased pet's collars on. Let's see. Maybe I'm not getting what the chat is trying to show us, but oh, there it is. Our beloved Rainbow Bridge in Lake Lure has been swept away
by floodwaters. Basically, this is where they had the collars for all the pets. So when your pets went, you know, oh, that's crazy, and that got washed out.
It's gone.
Yeah, I think it's gone. So, all right. Well, let's blow this.
I wanted to look at one more. The people on the roof of the hospital. Let me type in one more thing.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll pull this back up.
This was crazy. Even the lady that I work with was talking about it.
Okay. Right there. Right here.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Look at that water. They're literally on the roof of the hospital. And look, it's like a river. They were up there for
like a day. And I know there was mainly workers, I believe, but I think there was also some patients.
God, no way to escape. You ain't getting in that water.
And then so the helicopter, when the helicopter was trying to come, the current and the wind wouldn't
let it land.
Right. Because you've got to have a certain wind speed and
so like for the helicopter. That's why the helicopter crashed when they were in what was it, Pakistan, trying to get Osama bin Laden, because that fence was there. So the wind whipped back around and pushed the helicopter, and the helicopter crashed. Look at the hospital. Wow.
You got up front. Hold on, yeah, you're good. You're good.
That's them loading up the boats.
Wow.
Yeah, we got up front. Hold on, yeah, you're good. You're good.
So if you had any emergency condition while this was going on, you were just out of luck. This is it from the air. Look at it from the air. Oh my God. Look at the hospital.
You see the people?
Yeah, on the roof?
Yeah. And they were just up there just waiting for someone to rescue them for a whole day. See the helicopter hovering? They couldn't land it.
That's when you start dropping down a basket. Why, like Coast Guard helicopters? You would think there'd be more Coast Guard helicopters involved in this.
That's exactly what I've been trying to scream this entire live stream. Like, where the hell is the military and somebody that's got experience with rappelling from a helicopter?
Yeah, you would think, maybe they're somewhere else rappelling from a helicopter.
I'm pretty sure
that
this
is insane.
See, look, that's just crazy.
That's the helicopter circling it.
They circled it for a while, and then people were just having to just sit up there on that roof. Like, I can't.
Man, and the roads are washed out, so nobody can really get to them. And if you jump down, you're just going to get swept away. Right?
Oh, they got rescued eventually, but it was like a day.
A day.
I don't know the exact time they set up there. I just know I was checking in on the story as it was happening because the girl I work with was looking at it.
Yeah, live footage here. So let's refresh the phone lines. We want to hear from you people tonight. The phone lines are open. The call-in numbers on the screen, 757-797-6694. Now, if you're in some of these areas or you got out of these areas, we want to hear from you. We want to know what you've seen, what you experienced. Want to read that, PJ? Because I can't.
It says, "Amen. We're the United States of America. We should not be caring about which side we vote. Our brothers and sisters are in need. All this BS about what's not happening instead of coming together and figuring out a way we can help."
That is absolutely right. That's how I feel about it. When it comes to people's lives, it don't matter what side of the fence you on.
The Cajun Navy arrived yesterday.
I think that's the real Cajun Navy.
I hope so.
I don't think it's the ones that
I hope so for them
that were involved in the Sebastian Rogers situation. I hope not, anyway.
I'm sure there's bad apples in every tree. So
I guess so. And I don't mean all the people that help them are bad.
Yeah.
I just think some of the people that run it probably wasn't the best.
There was definitely something going on there.
And there's different Cajun navies.
Mm-hmm.
Dolly, you got to turn us down in the background.
That's what I'm doing. A second. Okay, I got it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's Rita from Dexter.
Hey, Rita.
Sorry. My TV would turn off. I had to I'm in the front room. I'm normally in the bedroom. I'm in the front room now, so I feel better. I didn't even know all this. I knew there was a hurricane, and they were asking if Bullhorn Betty was okay. And I was like, and that's the last I heard, because I was so sick in bed with that COVID. And now I'm seeing all this watching you guys tonight.
Yeah. Like, trust me, I didn't know either. I was a little out of the loop. I mean, I knew there was a storm. I knew there was a hurricane, but I didn't know it affected inland like this, like, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. I didn't know about these dams over flooding. I didn't know about these cities and towns flooding. So when I seen it, it was a complete shocker to me. Like, it's really hard to watch. It's really triggering, especially, people losing their lives, animals losing their lives. A house is replaceable, a building it's replaceable, but these lives and these animals that are being lost, they're not replaceable.
Yeah, and these animals that are tied up that can't get loose, they don't stand a fighting chance.
Yeah, I know. And that's what
they can't even defend themselves.
That's
and it's very upsetting.
So bad. And she's like, the horses didn't stand a chance. They corralled up and they couldn't get away. And, it's just, these people didn't know this water was coming like this. There wasn't, the water didn't knock on the door and say, hey, we're coming. It just came.
Yeah. And our military should have already been there.
Yeah.
So I can't even believe this.
I know. It reminds me of Katrina, where we just leave our people stranded. You defend for yourself. You either make it or don't make it.
And in Katrina, a bunch of kids came up missing.
Yeah.
Kids were being snatched there in Hurricane Katrina. A lot of kids were taken there in that time.
Yeah, or lost in the floods. I think this is worse because it's more widespread. Different states.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's worse. It appears to be worse anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, I seen a thing earlier, and somebody was swimming down a river. And then I was like, what's this? And then I got up, I got around, I started feeling better, and then I turned you guys on tonight, and that must be what this was from. Somebody said, is somebody swimming? And somebody was swimming down a road like a river. And I don't know if you guys ever seen that one, but they were trying to get that person out of the water.
Yeah, we watched it just earlier. It was 3 people in the water, and they were hauling ass down the thing too. Like it
It's got a current for sure.
It definitely has a strong current, and it's sweeping people away. And a lot of people, they look at the water and don't look that deep, but you really can't tell once you get out in it and you don't realize how powerful it is. Next thing you know, you're getting swept downstream from it, and you can't get loose. And next thing you know, there's stuff in the water and it's running you into things, and that's a lot of
injuries.
Injuries.
Running into parts of the road and bodies from caskets and and people that was taken away by it, all kinds of stuff. That water that you showed earlier, all kinds of stuff was in that.
Yeah, and
I don't know how they're gonna. That's gonna be hard to clean. I don't know what they're gonna do getting all that out of there.
There's still over 1,000 people missing, and this is women, children, everything. Husbands, sons. There's the death toll right now. It's small because there's so much water still, but as this stuff starts to recede, they start to really see the full scale of this, and they got more storms coming. The death toll is going to rise way up there.
Yeah. So when is this next one coming in? Is it coming in like really soon?
No, I think it's like about 4 or 5 days out.
It said that there was storms forming behind this one, but I didn't see anything with the exact dates.
Yeah.
I saw that there was 3 or 4 though.
I don't usually keep up with the weather till they say a hurricane's hitting here. Then I start.
They haven't named it yet.
Yeah, I usually start paying attention then. And we've been pretty lucky.
Well, I said about a week.
I lived in Florida there in one, but it was a long time ago. I lived in Florida, and one had hit, but I was in Jacksonville, and we just got rain from it, but it hit the bottom of Florida. And then somebody kept making comments on I don't know if you guys saw this. You had to, because it's your page. Check on Betty. Is Betty okay? But she had posted yesterday, from what I understood.
Yeah,
I don't know if she's in it. I don't know who's all in it, but I'm just saying that we have YouTubers that are in Florida, and I don't know if they're in it or not, or if anything it's affected them in any way. But I hope nothing happens to any of them. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't want nothing bad to happen to nobody.
I mean, she wasn't in the way of that storm. She should be okay.
Yeah. I'm sure
in a
if
specific
JLR was in the eye of it, I'm sure everybody else is okay. I mean, I've made it through plenty of hurricanes here in Virginia because we get hit with a hurricane at least once a year.
Yeah.
Maybe every other year we get hit pretty good by one, but still I've seen devastation like this from tornadoes hitting here.
That's what I was thinking. It looks
I've
like a
never
tornado.
seen a hurricane do this much damage. But usually when the bands of a hurricane are leaving, that's when tornadoes start to rip around here. And then Virginia gets hit hard by tornadoes. And
I've been in a lot of tornadoes. When I grew up in Illinois, Tornado Central.
Damn Tornado Alley.
They're everywhere down there. But we had a tornado here in Dexter. It was a few months ago. We had a really bad tornado come through here, and it went right in front of my house. My cat got outside. My cat was outside during the whole tornado, and I was worried sick, and he came back. But he had a fighting chance. He wasn't tied up. He got out the door, and he was out there running around in that tornado, and he was okay, thank God. But about a week later, he came back to the step. I was worried sick. I thought he was gone.
Well, awesome.
But tornadoes ain't no joke.
No, definitely ain't. I've seen some massive destruction. But look, we're going to get ready to get out of here. So it was good talking to you.
All right. It was good talking to you guys. I'm going to keep watching until we're done. All right, PJ. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye, hon.
Yeah. What crazy devastation, right? And like I said, we'll try to do something to help the people of Tennessee, South Carolina,
Virginia.
I mean, it's basically the lower East Coast.
Yeah, it really is.
Some places are affected a little bit more than other places, but I was just amazed at the devastation like this right here.
And Jay's for Justice is in Florida, but she's good, someone said.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. Like
and
this type of destruction.
Did have a power loss and got her power back.
Yeah, nobody cares. Okay.
Rude. That is crazy. I mean,
if that wicked witch would have blown away,
if
she would have blown away and ended up in Oz, you know what I'm saying? The wizard wouldn't even have talked to her.
Look, That literally looks like the whole freaking place got bulldozed over with the freaking hurricane. Look at it.
I mean, it does. I'll have to show the people because they can't really see what we're looking at.
I'm sorry. You're trying to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap up so we can watch a little bit of TV, grab some grub and stuff like that. So, guys, look, we appreciate you coming by. Say a little prayer for everybody from Tennessee to Florida, Georgia, even Virginia. I didn't even know my people in Virginia were hit like this. So the storm is no joke. Don't play with it. When people are giving you warnings and they're like, okay, get to high ground or evacuate, take those things really serious. What's that say?
Papa Bear surely got her a generator.
Yeah, Papa Bear. Okay, we may later on tonight, late tonight, if I pop back up late night, we may tell the story of the 3 little bears.
I can't.
Okay. There may be some bear stories coming in. I might tell y'all a little bedtime story late tonight. All right. I'm not positive.
Look at Gopher sent. This is some pictures of our reservoir here in Virginia. Oh man.
It's crazy. Wow. That's what I'm saying. And we'll touch in a little bit more tomorrow when we get.
I can gather more stuff to show.
Yeah, we'll have more
just a loop of something.
Yeah, we'll have.
There's so much more. I mean, there's so many people affected by this.
Yeah, we'll grab some more info on what's going on and how you can help and stuff like that for you guys tomorrow. And like I said, I might be back late tonight after midnight or so, 12:30ish, to tell y'all a little bedtime story and true crime. Okay. So make sure if I am, y'all join me. So, make sure you ring that bell for notifications. If you ain't subbed up yet, sub up. And of course, like the video, guys. All right. So we know that y'all want this type of coverage. If we look at the video and there's like 400 likes, we're going to be like, well, nobody wants to hear about that. Right. So if you like this type of content and you want us to cover more stuff like this, definitely like the video. Right. And in the comment box, if you're in one of these, flooded areas, let us know and what you see and what's going on in your town in the comment box down below. And definitely everybody say a prayer for the people. There's a lot of families that are losing loved ones. There's a lot of people missing. There's a lot of people dead. And I think that number is only going to climb. We love you guys. And I'll probably see you later tonight. You want to say bye, PJ?
Bye, PJ.
Bye, PJ. Okay. You guys be good. Later.